The Shark Deck.
Hello and welcome to Palace Intrigue. I am your host, Mark Francis. Despite wanting to kick Andrew out of the Royal Lodge, perhaps the king does not have such power. A source said to be in regular contact with Andrew told The Times, "The lease is in the Duke's name, so no one can take that away from him. It has never been suggested that it could be taken away from him. It's a long lease with 80 to 90 years left on it. This is a lease between him and the Crown Estate. That's not a matter for the king. It's a matter for the Chancellor of the Exchequer. The only way you could get him to move out would be through an arrangement. He would have to agree." A source tells the Mail that Andrew was refusing to see anybody. He's concerned that now the coronation is over, the knives are out. He's worried that the royals might even turn off the utilities to get him out of there. But we're dealing with human beings, not real estate. According to royal expert Tom Quinn, Kate treats William like a fourth child because of his hissy fits. Quinn told the Express, "Because William adopts the manners and ways of behaving of his grandmother, and Kate is very good at not complaining, both of them are stuck to the thing that made Queen Elizabeth II such a remarkable monarch. They very rarely complain, and when they do, it's always in measured terms." Mike Tindall may have missed the note about not complaining. On his podcast, The Good, the Bad and the Rugby, Mike complained about his seat at the coronation. At least he wasn't blocked by a woman with a giant hat. Mike said, "You're in the hottest spot, but it's happening all around the corner where you can't see. You do have a front row seat, but it was unbelievable being sat there, but frustrating." Mike also discussed his behavior at the coronation concert. "You can't not hear Lionel Richie sing all night long and get up and dance. The worst thing I was, get up and dance to this, but is the king going to stand up? We knew Kermit was coming at some point. Could I dance with Kermit the Frog?" William told of a horrible gift he once gave Kate, and it didn't go well. An interview from 2020 recently resurfaced in which William said, "I did get my wife a pair of binoculars once. She's never let me forget that. That was early on in the courtship. I think that sealed the deal." But those two crazy lovebirds are still affectionate after all these years. Last month, Prince William was overheard complimenting his wife during a visit to Birmingham, England. "What an amazing outfit Kate has got on," a fan told Wills as he greeted the crowd. "It's beautiful." William's reply, "Oh, she always looks stunning." Palace Intrigue will be right back.
I'm Nina Hobson, ex-police detective from the UK. I've worked on every crime mentionable, from murder to kidnap to stalking to fraud. When I left the force, I launched my own investigations firm that soon became a global operation. I'm also a single mother of two, to two members of my team, my son Harrison and daughter Amy. Every week, we'll be getting first-hand accounts from psychological experts, operatives, former criminals, actual victims of the crimes that we investigate, and of course, my very own flesh and blood. From Storic Media, you're listening to Codename Siren, a true crime podcast. Available on YouTube and all major podcast platforms.
From time to time, we like to look at the other royal families, and the Daily Mail reminds us the Brits aren't the only ones with drama. In development, a series called Monaco would track the grand history of the ruling Grimaldi family, whose members include Prince Albert II and Princess Charlene and the late Prince Rainier III and Grace Kelly. The project has the blessing of its royal subjects, or more accurately, their descendants. It is being produced by a production company headed by Princess Caroline of Hanover's sons and Grace Kelly's grandsons, Andrea and Pierre Casiraghi, and daughter-in-law Beatrice Casiraghi, née Bormiomeo Dimitri Rassam, who is married to Princess Caroline's daughter Charlotte Casiraghi, is also involved. Rassam told Variety, "I thought I knew this story, but it turns out I had only scratched the surface. Simply said, it is epic in every way. Family adventure, intrigue, the true story of the foundation of the Grimaldis in Monaco some 7 centuries ago is one of the most captivating stories I have had the chance of discovering, thanks to the initiative of Beatrice, Andrea, and Pierre." The first installment will be filmed titled Part 1, The Rock, which will focus on the Grimaldis' first conquest of Monaco in the late 13th century. One possible angle for true stories, Monaco's royal family has suffered tragic deaths, sudden divorces, and headline-grabbing paternity claims, all because of the curse of the Grimaldis, or so the legend would have you believe. It is said a spell was put on the Grimaldi family, which has ruled Monaco for more than 700 years, that meant none of their marriages would ever survive. Princess Caroline's love life has been checkered with sadness. The oldest child of Grace Kelly and Prince Rainier has had 3 marriages, one of which ended in her being widowed. Princess Stephanie has been dubbed the wild child of the family and has had a series of romantic liaisons that were said to have left her father, Prince Rainier, on the brink of despair. Stephanie dabbled in modelling and singing and was linked to a string of celebrity lovers, including Rob Lowe, Jean-Claude Van Damme, and former Manchester United goalkeeper Fabien Barthez. In 1991, she became involved with her former bodyguard, Daniel Ducret, and the pair had 2 children out of wedlock, Louis and Pauline, before marrying in 1995. A year after walking down the aisle, the marriage was left in tatters when Stephanie's husband was caught cavorting with a woman who had previously won the title Miss Nude Belgium. Then there is Prince Albert, who seemed destined to be a bachelor, having never married or had a serious public romance. Then in 2000, he met South African Olympic swimmer Charlene Whitstock at a Monaco aquatic competition. The pair, who have a 20-year age gap, began dating soon afterwards, but didn't appear in public as a couple until 2006. Their star-studded 3-day wedding, thought to cost around £53 million, took place in July 2011. But it supposedly wasn't the fairy tale wedding it seemed, with Princess Charlene said to have attempted to flee the country days earlier using a one-way ticket to Johannesburg. More recently, the prince himself admits it's been a rough ride, saying over Christmas that there had been tough years for Charlene. In March, there were rumours they would separate, but a spokesperson said, "I would like to formally deny the malicious rumours peddled by a French magazine. Please disregard this article, which is totally unfounded." The Daily Mail has many other examples of failed marriages. Perhaps we've found our spin-off podcast idea. And there you have it. If you'd like to email us, our address is thepalacintrigue@gmail.com. Please follow us on Spotify, iTunes, Google Podcasts, YouTube, or your app of choice. I'm Mark Francis. My thanks to John McDermott. This is Palace Intrigue, and good times.